Hi guys, it's Mark, and due to popular demand, today's Division video is in English. So, welcome to the Division, everyone. As you know, the Division is a new game that just came out, and we're just going to go over some of the points, and I'm going to talk about builds today. So, this is the Division, set in a dystopian world of New York City that just got hit with a variation of the smallpox virus called green poison. Why do they call it green poison? Well, this virus was put on money and circulated on Thanksgiving Day, and then it broke out. And then after that, the US government decided that they needed a directive to help take back the city, and thus you, as a sleeper agent, was activated under the Strategic Homeland Division, short form called the Division. And that leads us up to today. So today we're going to talk about builds. As an RPG, we all know that there are certain builds that help facilitate team play. So when you play in a team, or whether you play solo, some builds will definitely be beneficial to you as you play. So today we're going to talk about an Assaulter's build. Now, an Assaulter's build, we're just going to go over some of the things that I do in my team for my team, as well as what I do that helps make my build work for me. Now, this might not work for you, it might work for you. If it does, great, leave me a comment in the comment section below. So right now, let's look at my inventory, and let's look at what I have as part of my build. First thing, we're going to look at my primary. I run an LVOAC, then I run a Chris Vector 45 ACP, and an M9 pistol. Now, some of the things you want to make sure that you have on lockdown as part of your Assaulter's build is you want to make sure you're dealing as much DPS as possible while still being able to have a decent amount of health. Why? Because as an Assaulter, your job is you want to go out and deal some DPS. You want to go deal some hurt. Now, I don't have the highest DPS in the world, but in conjunction and coordination with some of my perks and abilities, this allows me to deal maximum damage as my role of my fire team. Now, this is an RPG, the Division, and that entails a lot of RPG elements that helps you build the character or the playstyle that you like. So for building an Assaulter's build, let's delve into some of the perks on your weapons as well as on your character that helps bring you to the maximum ability that you can offer to your fire team. So first, let's look at my primary weapon. Now, this is my LVOAC. So we did a video on this before in Chinese, and we briefly talked about things like DPS and damage and so on and so forth. But right now we're going to look at the talents that I have that helps me run my build. So the first talent is called Sustain. Killing a target increases your health by 4%. Now, this is very important, as you know, as the Assaulter of your group, you want to be able to run from cover to cover and deal as much damage as possible. And when being in a shooter, cover-based shooter, you want to be able to maximize on everything that you can do in dealing DPS-wise, as well as being able to preserve your life to be a more beneficial member of your team. The second talent you see is Meticulous. Killing this target has an 18% chance to instantly refill the magazine, which is fantastic. What this allows you to do is be able to pump as much damage as possible into a target, kill it, have that perk proc. After that perk procs on you, then you can deal more damage out. So again, this is my weapon that I pump as much damage out as possible. And these are just the perks that came with the gun. Now, as part of an Assaulter's class, what else do you need or would be beneficial to help you deal out as much damage as possible? Now, after we're looking at the guns perks, now look at the mods on the guns. So on my LVOAC, what I have is I have a compensator. So my compensator gives me 23% horizontal stability plus 13.5% accuracy. This allows me to be able to use as many of those bullets to hit the target that I need. The last thing you want is a bullet hose that sprays all over the place. And now M4 carbines, even though they have slightly higher accuracy rates compared to some of the other automatic assault rifles, they still tend to spray towards the end of your magazine. They usually go vertical. So being able to have a horizontal compensator on there ensures that your recoil pattern goes straight up. So holding the thumbstick down to keep your bullets on point makes things a little bit easier for you. The second thing, I have a PQ 15 laser in red. This increased hip fire accuracy as well as adds more accuracy to my gun. Now hip fire accuracy, that also helps you firing out of cover, blind firing. Yes, there is a perk for blind firing as well as hip firing. Now what I found is with my hip firing accuracy, I do have a higher chance of hitting enemies while I am in cover. Yes, remember there is perks that allow increased blind fire cover or firing out of cover. There are such perks on certain attachments. Then I have an extended mag. Now this is very important on anyone that wants to run either a supporter class or an assaulter's class. Now, as you can see on my extended magazine that I'm using here, it increases 75.5% magazine size, plus it increases 23.3% rate of fire. What this allows me to do is it ups my magazine from 30 rounds to 52 rounds. Now that means I'm able to deal out more damage to the target or to targets to be able to be a little bit more optimal with the DPS I'm able to deal. Lastly, let's look at my holographic sight, my XPS3 holographic sight, which I have here. Again, it gives me more range and 70.5% headshot damage because, hey, who doesn't want to deal more headshot damage? So that's my primary. What I do is I put in conjunction with my LVOAC assault rifle primary, I also use a submachine gun. Now, why do I use a submachine gun and not something else? Now, as an assaulter, you can opt to put a shotgun on as well to really get in the faces of your enemies and just deal some damage. But why I chose to use a submachine gun is very simple. Submachine guns have increased critical hit chance, and for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to call it a crit chance. So I have a 23% increased critical hit chance on my submachine gun. So what that allows you to do is allows you to hit crits on a higher basis more often. Now, being that this is an RPG game, this allows for some very interesting builds around your weapon and around your playstyle or the type of player that you would like to be. So taking a quick look at my Vector 45 ACP, I have 23% increased hit chance as a submachine gun. Now all submachine guns should have this perk active. Now I have these two other perks I haven't unlocked yet because my power levels are not high enough. It's not over 9,000 yet. So what this allows me to do, the first one is Capable. Using a skill improves the handling for 13 seconds. And then Fierce, which is a very good perk. Critical hit chance is increased by 8% while using this weapon. Now, this is a fantastic perk which it stacks onto my 23% critical hit chance anyways. Now, let's quickly take a look at what mods I put on my Vector. Again, it's all about building your gun around certain perks. Now you can see I have an other 6.5% critical hit chance and 17% reduced threat on my suppressor, on my Osprey 45 suppressor. So that adds another 6.5% critical hit chance. Then I have an angled foregrip, added stability and accuracy, extended magazine. Now again, 75.5% extended magazine size plus 22.6% rate of fire. This allows me to deal faster DPS, more DPS, as well as increases my magazine size from 20 now to 35. Now you might think, oh well, that's not a lot, but given the fact that I also have added headshot damage and optimal range on my holographic sight, my gun can safely say can crit about 1/3 to 2/3 of my whole magazine. So that does make up for a lot of decreased ammo capacity in my magazine itself. So building around a base perk of your gun allows you to really maximize the effect of your weapon, even though I might still have a lower magazine capacity. Now being an RPG, what RPG would be complete without perks and talents and skills and abilities? So let's look at some of the skills and talents and perks that you have available for you, as well as what I am using for my loadout. Right now I am using First Aid as part of my setup here for my Assaulter's build. And with First Aid, I am using the Defibrillator. Now, why am I using Defibrillator as an Assaulter? Well, as the assaulter, or as one of the assaulters in my fire team, my job is to try to get into slightly more forward positions as to be able to flank, to be able to push and or suppress enemies. So what this allows me to do with Defibrillator is, if I have a down teammate that is further behind me, next to me, or around me that I need to pick up, I can use my Defibrillator, shoot it at them, and then they'll get back up themselves. So this is a good perk to have, whether you're playing Assaulter, whether you're playing as a support class, or even a sniper. So great perk to have. The second one I use is Sticky Bomb. Now I rotate between this depending on my team's composition. Now I use Sticky Bomb last with the Flashbang perk. What this does is this does what exactly a Flashbang does. It blinds your enemies for a moment, and then you just pump out as much damage as you can. Great for elites, great for enemies that rush you, such as shotgunners, guys with baseball bats, or guys with axes. This is a great perk to kind of slow them down, so you can either throw an incendiary grenade, or you can get team shot on the enemy with your team. Now this is a perk I was running last night to do the challenge mode with some of my other teammates. Usually if I don't run this, I would run Smart Cover. Now Smart Cover is a great skill to have, and I will run Recharger. Using a reinforced cover slowly recovers their health and gives skill cooldown decreases. So this is a great perk to have. It helps you deal extra damage while giving you these extra bonuses on there. So this is the one I usually run with. Now as my final ability, I usually use Tactical Link. Tactical Link allows you to deal extra damage out to your whole team. Your whole team is able to deal extra damage with this skill set. Again, last night we were doing something a little bit different in the challenging setting, so I used Recovery Link. Recovery Link allows me to pick up all downed enemies and to recharge their health all at once. Again, the cooldown takes a little bit of time, but it's a great skill to have. Now, I usually run with Tactical Link as my role as an assaulter, so this is something that you guys can play around with. As a pure assaulter, I go with Tactical Link. If I'm kind of doing a bit of both, I would go with Recovery Link. So for talents, what I'm using right now is I'm using Combat Medic. Using a medkit near allies heals the group members in proximity within 20 meters. Fantastic one to use. Don't be stingy on your medkits. Use them as much as possible. You can always restock. You can always pick up, and don't be stingy on your medkits. The second one I use Tactical Advance. Completed cover-to-cover movement increases weapon damage by 2% per meter covered for 10 seconds. Fantastic. More DPS. This is something that I would highly recommend to people out there who are running LMGs, who are running high-capacity magazines in their assault rifles like myself, to be the assaulter of your group. The third one I'm using here is called Evasive Action. During cover-to-cover move, incoming damage is reduced by 30%. This is a fantastic perk, especially for us who need to go from point to point, or we're doing flank maneuvers to really suppress the enemy. This is a perk you really need to use to be part of your skill set when you are running as an assaulter. The last one that I would highly recommend, of course, is Precision. Headshot a hostile, pulse them for 10 seconds. You pulse them, and you get the pulse effect, which is increased damage, as well as other bonuses that come with pulse. Now, this one I usually keep on there because there are times I alternate between a submachine gun and sniper, depending on my role. Even though I still do run mainly as an assaulter of my team, there are times where I will switch gears and become more of a support sniper, and that's for another video that I'll do next time. So perk-wise, perks, you will unlock all of these perks as you upgrade all the different wings of your home base, and these give you different things to boost your abilities while you play the Division. So I really hope that video was helpful to you guys. Just a brief overview of how to build an assaulter build for your character. It really does help with group play as well as solo play. Remember, these are not concrete, these are not 100%. This is what works for me, and I really hope it works for you. If a submachine gun doesn't work and you like running and gunning with a shotgun, hey, more power to you. I just haven't been able to find a good shotgun yet. So until next time, my name is Mark. You can follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description box below. You can add my gamer tag also in the description box below if you want to, team up, play some Division, grind out some Dark Zone. I'm always here. And once again, thank you for watching. If you like it, give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscription. Fantastic. I'll see you guys next time.